Welcome back. We are talking in this video about why burnout is so very common in the frontline workers, particularly the physicians. We've also said in the past that the physicians is a group which has been significantly studied in detail, which is the reason why there is a lot of evidence available with this type of group. And most, I wouldn't say all, but most of the evidence is applicable to the frontline workforce, and learnings can be taken from those findings, though they might not be related to the physician occupations entirely. Of course, there are minor variations in all those forces, but by and large, it makes sense to learn from that group and apply to most of the other groups. We did talk about the personalities that come into this particular field, being kind-hearted. They choose to serve the community, the society, and they do usually have a balanced life with, even if it is economical need, but they have their values identified that they would like to put their might and energy into their field of work, so that they'll serve the people that they are very much designed to serve, with a view that they will be fulfilled towards the end of the career, with a view to getting into a blissful disposition or blissful feeling of life, if you like. Life or time does not wait for anybody. And it is hence important that if you were to follow your passion, and if that is medicine and that's how you respond to your calling, then you would not reach a time when you'd feel, oh, I want to retire, or oh, I'm tired, because the passion in you will keep you going on until a stage comes that you're physically unable to work, if you like, but tiredness just doesn't come in because you just love the work so much and the passion is full in your body as such. Having said that, if the passion was missing, it's prudent that you find the passion, because non-passionate work would cause boredom, cause frustration, cause feeling of trapping or being trapped, and hence it is quite important to identify your purpose and your values. And we do that when we do get people that we coach, and they could be health professionals, or they could be dentists, or they could be entrepreneurs, or they could be policemen, firefighters, teachers, anybody. We do take them through a routine of kind of virtually identifying what their values are, what their kind of human needs are, what their behavior traits are, and they go a long way in identifying what your purpose is really, because that defines who you are. And there are people who know about this at a very, very young age, and there are some who go into their 70s and 80s and 90s never realizing why they are on the face of this earth. So it is easy. I think in this particular occupation we have put in a lot of hard work, and we're intelligent people, and if you were suffering with any signs of overwhelm or something of that sort, it is quite easy to get that self-analyzed, or we can definitely help you. We did talk about the people coming into healthcare were coming in because of economical, social and cultural things in mind, and that in the 1950s in the Americas at least, it was poverty that led a mass influx of people into the frontline work. These were well-meaning people. They wanted to put in as much as they wanted to in their work, but by the 1960s, the Cultural Revolution had started and modernization of medicine had started, and that started to undervalue these professionals, and that's how burnout came into being. Too much of work, demand, resource imbalance, lack of meaning high demands of secrecy, confidentiality, chaos at work, all of these items do predispose the frontline workers towards burnout. Recently, there's quite a bit of bureaucracy coming in. There is a group of frontline workers who do feel that the remuneration they get in exchange for the amount of hard work they put in is fairly low. And that is also a significantly important driver for this subset of population to feel trapped in the occupation and can trigger burnout. So the slide on display is something that I've prepared with regards to the journey, if you like, a young frontline healthcare worker, in this example a physician, takes. I've started with an age group of 5, and that's basically how it was with me, but it doesn't have to be 5, it could be ranging between 3 to something like 7. And these young kids start to develop an idea of getting into medicine. This could be because of a gentle nudge from the family member. It could be if they have their mums or dads being doctors. In my situation, that wasn't the case. It was my mum just gently nudged me by saying, "I think you would be a good doctor," and that was just basically something that stemmed my interest, if you like, and it just basically carried on. There are times, if you were to have a family member, a distant family member who was a doctor, or perhaps a doctor who impressed you completely, or a stint in the hospital while your relative or you yourself were having treatment and you were impressed with the hospital environment, the doctors or the medics, and you take upon that memory as, goodness me, these guys are changing lives. So these thoughts from the very young age evolve and continue evolving until, say, for argument's sake again, an approximate age of 17, when they've done their GCSEs or A-levels and they have decided firmly that they are going to take up medicine. By about 23 years of age, again 23-ish, they come out, they become doctors, and then further specialization by about 30. Now that's basically where the watermark or watershed line is. So having spent a decent 10 to 15 years in the university, in the medical school, and becoming a specialist, we virtually bury our head in the books. We learn how to treat human beings, we learn about medicine, but unfortunately, and it is still the case in majority, not all, majority of the cases, we don't get given life lessons. We don't get given finance lessons. We don't get given how do we deal with business. We don't get given the finer details of living life. We are fantastic as far as medicine is concerned, but the rest of the items are missing. Now, throughout your upbringing, or during your uni life or the medical school life, if you were exposed to those type of tricks and tips, then there is a potential possibility that you are level, you know how to live life, you've got stress relaxation mechanisms, and so on and so forth. And if you were in medicine purely because of passion and you love it and you continue to love it, by the time you hit your midlife, by 50, you remain happy. And then potentially by 65, you've got this fantastic, satisfied smile on your face thinking, you know what, if I was to live life again, I would exactly do the same. And that's called a fulfilled life which leads to bliss and happiness. That's fantastic. That's basically what is good to aim for. Now, unfortunately, at 30, if the life lessons were missing, or if you were not coming into physician's world because of pure passion, or if the institutional issues were significant, or if the stress levels were chronic, and so on and so forth, there's a potential possibility that by the time you hit midlife, you say, goodness me, what have I done? It's never late. You can still change things, but if they don't change, premature aging by about 60, you're thoroughly stressed out and burnt out. And that's the life that one should not lead, because that journey does not make either the physician or his or her family or the patients happy. And that's what Fulfilled Careers is here to try and avoid. And we say when we reach about 30, we should go through courses. We should know exactly what life is. We should know what exactly burnout is. We should know what is good and bad. We should know what is stress relaxation, how do we deal with stressors, how do we deal with resilience, and so on and so forth. So help is certainly available. The most important thing is knowledge. If you don't know, you don't know. And the recognition that you need to learn something more. In medicine, we are fantastic in trying to learn a few things, but we learn with a view that we will pass the fruits to our patients. At times, it's quite important, quite good to learn something for the sake of learning for our own good, because in the current situation, if it was for our own good, it will prove to be of good to the patient as well. And help is available. Courses like the one that you're attending are plentiful, and coaching is evidence proven to change the feeling of overwhelm, as well as burnout. So I think in the Fulfilled Careers Institute, we truly believe that every doctor should go through some education about what burnout is, so that you prevent it, so that you never ever go into that particular situation knowing what burnout is. And what we do is, if you were to complete this particular course, of course, coaching is available. We are offering free coaching, free one-session coaching to the first 20 candidates. We would be offering them a thorough analysis of what their current is. They don't have to be physicians only. You could be anybody. You could be any healthcare professional or frontline occupation or entrepreneur or policeman or firefighter or a teacher. And what we promise to do is we would analyze the situation that you are in. I'm an orthopedic surgeon, but I've also done numerous courses and numerous seminars and so on and so forth. And I'm a strategy as well as accountability course. Of course, don't do coaching if you don't want to get results with me, because accountability coaching is my forte in coaching. So through sustained, I wouldn't say gentle, sustained, well-meaning, forceful, with a view to get your results, tease the results out of you. And you will truly know when you attended a couple of sessions. So don't feel shy. Please write to us on admin@fulfilledcareers.com. and a team member will get in touch and will book the free session for you. We also have the full 6-week burnout prevention freedom formula, and that's a flagship course if you're too distant. Again, coaching is virtual, so it's not going to involve a lot of travel, and you should be able to gain a lot from a decent amount of distance. So thank you very much for listening to this video and seeing this video. The next video is going to be on the effects of burnout.